Musical instruments that can stand alone are beautiful, but when they're pieced together in an orchestra, that is a huge difference maker. And when you're making your videos, I want you to start thinking about your videos and the music that you're choosing as an orchestra. Your video is great on its own, the music is great on its own, but how do you blend the two for something dynamic? I'm going to share those things with you today. What's up, guys? My name is Jason. Thanks so much for joining us here today on our Not So Perfect Life. If you want to check out our normal travel and adventure stuff, hop on over in our Thursday videos. All of that is our content that is about our travels and the things we do with our RV and just getting around the country with all the cool stuff, including my wife, including the family. It's so much fun, but that's not what you came for today. What you came for is, how is music so critical and important to the videos that you're making on YouTube, and why you should be giving thought to the music that you choose. There's a few things immediately that come to mind, and these are the things we're going to unpackage today. So you're ready? We're going to talk about number one, the mood. The other thing we're going to talk about today is pacing and how music can add to the pace of the video, whether it be fast or slow. We're going to get into that and how to find the right kind of music for the setting that you have. Another thing that I have learned as I've done video editing and even done homework myself watching videos about how to utilize music, one thing that I think is overlooked so much, and we're going to get into this, is transitions. How to use music for transitional spaces. We're going to talk about today how I use music in transition from one scene to the next, from one song to the next, maybe even from one mood or one pace to the next. And I'm going to talk to you about how I develop that and show you behind the scenes of what that actually looks like. Oh, and you might think, I don't use music in my videos. I use very little, it doesn't matter. Well, it should matter, and you should pay attention to the music you choose. Even if you have ambient backdrop music over talking head stuff, the music you select matters. So, now that we've covered all the stuff we're going to talk about today, let's jump into it. Okay, so music sets the mood. You can have an entirely different mood and feel based on the music you choose. I did an experiment once with our channel back quite a few episodes ago, and it was in Yosemite. And in Yosemite, I wanted to film this peaceful, very serene setting right by a river. I happened to notice a deer right in the wild, just kind of hanging out, and I wanted you to feel kind of what I was feeling in the moment. Now, here's that scene. Can you feel that? All right, did you feel like that serene feeling, thus the water and the wind and just all of the elements of nature that were there? I kind of wanted you to bask in that moment. Now, the mood can be different if I put music like this to it. You see how the mood can set that up differently? All of those things are important and critical when thinking about what kind of music am I choosing for the mood that I want. Mood refers to the emotional state of mind, right, that you're trying to bring someone in when you're telling the story. The mood of the music should fit that. It should direct the viewer into what they should be feeling, the state of mind that they should be in that moment, right? You can see it all through cinematic experiences. If there's a heightened sense of awareness and a heightened sense of anxiety, you'll feel that thunderous, that right? Like as someone's running through a tunnel, right? Or some quick, fast action is happening. Now, you wouldn't want to do that while you're watching grandma cut apples making an apple pie. You wouldn't want to put in right? You wouldn't want to do all that. Grandma's cutting apples and you have that going on in the background. Might seem a little disjointed. The mood more is going to be about the state of mind that you want to put the viewer in while they're experiencing the video that they're watching. That is what the mood is. So the mood for Yosemite was peaceful. It was serene. It was quiet. Mood and pacing, don't mistake the two. You can still have a mood that is dynamic and emotional and something that can feel very uplifting or sad, and the pace can still be quick. What do I mean with that? Pacing is a critical aspect to storytelling. This is very, very important. These are the things that are subconscious. It isn't just always hitting on a beat, right? It's not just cutting to this snare pop. I'm cutting to this bass kick. It is setting the pace that's according to the clip length that you need, right? And the timing of the music, right? And then making sure that it's not just one or two cuts at that particular pacing. It needs to be several cuts at that pacing to set that up, right? To get that viewer within that pace of where the visuals are going and the music that is there accompanying, wow, that's hard to say, accompanying the visuals. What do I mean by that? You have a series of clips coming, right? And you want to make sure that you're dropping those clips at the right pacing to go along with what it is that they're watching. All right, so let's break down pacing by a visual example. Take a look at this clip, listen to the music, watch how the clips interchange, and then I'll walk back through it. The pacing I'm using for these particular clips is this. See this little thing right here? That's the snap you're hearing. I have an image coming in right on that snap, and I'm utilizing that snap to move the pacing forward. The next clip I drop in is right here at the sound of the beat. Now notice, here's that clap sound, and the clap sound is going to be here. Well, that clap sound is also snuck right in here. And here's what I do. I find the clip that opens up my knife right as that clap noise is happening. That's done on purpose. I chose that clip on purpose right here, giving that knife snap sound automatically. Then I drop in here on this clip. I break the bands on this clap right here. And again, I'm coming in on the beat of the music right here with a new clip. The pacing changes because the dynamic of the song is changing. Here I have those claps I'm utilizing here, 1, 2, 3. Now I want to get through this portion of the clip before I get into the rhythm of the music, which is what you're seeing here. And then this ramp up that you see right here, this ramp that's happening, I'm using this ramp to build up this whole clip with the music. And then I fade out along this drop. Let's watch this together as I've now explained it on the timeline, and you'll see the pacing, the clips, the music all come together. This is really important. Sometimes we overuse a clip. If you feel like the clip is so important to set up something, right, that's over here at the end, really ask yourself, how necessary is like the first 15 seconds of that clip? The payoff might only be a second and a half. When you're editing for the pacing, take the very best of your clips. It doesn't need all of it. Don't patronize your audience by thinking you have to give them every minute detail. If you tell a good enough story with the clips that you have in the direction that the film is moving, and the pacing of the music is set and you're hitting those on every 4 count or 6 count, right? Or 3 count, and you're utilizing the music to move through the story, they'll piece things together. You don't necessarily need to take every single component and piece it together for them to understand that you went from your home to the coffee place, that you moved from a campground to a trail. It might be 2 clips of you packing up, 2 clips of you in between, and 3 clips of you getting into the trail, and then you're on trail, right? And in those series of clips, you're pacing that with the music. You're timing that with the beats that you're choosing. Okay, so transitions. Let's get into this. This is so important. And I feel like this is an element that is overlooked and not really taught all too often. Right? We understand so far what mood is, we understand what pacing is, but let's talk about transitioning from one scene to the next and how we can utilize that music, right? Let's look at something that you could do when you're listening to music that I do, and it's this. Let's look at these dynamic ranges on the bandwidth, right? We can see it building to a crescendo and then dropping. And in that, we can use those moments of music where it builds to something to either come into a perfect transition to stop and go into another piece of music, or come to an abrupt end in a scene and use that drop, if you will, to create more of an energy and more of a dynamic in the transition instead of just slowly lagging off into something else. Here's what I'm talking about. This is putting it into motion right now. I'm gonna take you back out to the scooter one more time. Are you ready? And see, it was that build right here. This is the build of the transition that I used right there. I just used the ramp directly from the music, had the drop, came into something else. I leveraged the music to move the video along and to bring energy where there might not have been. I could have just dropped in the music for sure, right? But the smoothness of that transition from sitting at a desk to being outside was done so by music. It was orchestrated by music. So utilizing and really leveraging music for transitions is something that you should be giving thought to. Music should fit the scene that you're in, not just about what you like to hear, right? I like to hear a certain kind of music, okay? One of my favorite genres to choose from, I'm not always choosing from because it doesn't fit the video. It doesn't serve the purpose. So make sure you're being aware of the music that you're choosing. And if you have a wondering, like, geez, am I picking good music or bad music? Send your videos to your friends. Send them to somebody and have them review the music that you're choosing and say, hey, does this actually fit real quick? And they'll tell you, be like, no, not really. That sounds a little too much like, like When in Rome romantic comedy kind of thing. I think it needs something a little heavier. They'll tell you if it doesn't fit. And so just be mindful. Be mindful of the music that you're choosing to fit the scene that you're trying to portray. This is not a sponsored video, but if you're wondering where to get music and solid music and a vast array of music, then Epidemic Sound would be where you would want to purchase. It is the program I use. Their searchability for music and new trending stuff and all kinds of just varieties of genres and speeds and the way you can search, it is unbelievable as a platform. You can get stems, which means you can get the individual sounds of the track, whether it's, the synthesizers, the melody, the drum, the bass, like those kind of things, you can strip the music down. But if you're looking for quality music, you're looking for quality sound effects, Epidemic Sound is your one and only stop. I have a link below in the description. Utilize it, go grab it, try it out. You're gonna love it. Guys, it is a game changer. If you're wasting your time trying to find royalty-free music that you can use for your videos, then stop wasting your time. Your time is valuable. Spend a little bit of money that it takes to get a subscription membership and open up a whole library of music that is going to blow your mind. I want to thank Varla for sending us a scooter. Dude, this thing goes 40 miles an hour. It has 2 motors. This thing shreds. Man, that thing cooks. Woo! Dude, you want to shred to the mailbox at 40 miles an hour? This is what you want. You want to cruise a campground out of your RV? Dude, just pop that thing on. It's fun. It's fun. Wow, guys, we packed a ton in here about music. I feel like I rushed through some of it. I feel like I could have talked for about 45 minutes. When it comes to editing and when it comes to the design of videos, I feel like I could just talk for hours. So I tried to rush through to just give you the hot bullet points, right? Just a few high-level things for you to be thinking about when you're making your videos and why you should be choosing the music that you're choosing and when you should be using it. So thanks so much for hanging out. Guys, see us on Thursday for our regular travel video stuff. We're gonna keep dropping stuff on Sunday for video editing and different things like that. Thanks so much for being here. Hit the subscribe button. Join us if you want to have a more intimate relationship with us, and we will see you guys in the next one. Peace.